Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom. Okay, so I want to get into a lesson starting off in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter and the 4th verse. So Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson to the elect. So I'll go ahead and I'll get straight into it. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, and the him is speaking about the angel. Okay, continuing on. Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. That's right, it says go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. Okay, and we understand that we're a people before a place. So we know that this is speaking about the nation of Israel. Okay, continuing on. And set a mark. And when you go into that word mark, in the Hebrew, it's the wa, which means exempt from judgment. Okay, so I'll read that again. And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. That's right. So we understand that this mark that it speaks about in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, which is the wa in the Hebrew, which means exempt from judgment, will be placed upon the elect. Okay, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. We call ourselves the hopeful elect. We are the ones that's truly sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, man. Okay, constantly asking the Lord, how long? Okay, waiting for the Lord to destroy this place, man. Okay, every day we get up in this place is extremely vexing, man. Okay, seeing that Esau, Edom, is still in rulership, okay, ruling in complete wickedness, seeing the wicked philosophies of this damn devil is being heavily pushed and promoted throughout the earth, okay, seeing the condition of our people, okay, seeing that our enemies are currently ruling over us, man, okay, seeing that this place is polluted, seeing this place is defiled in its entirety under the rulership of this damn devil, man, okay, we understand that we are the ones that's truly sighing and crying, man, okay, continuing on. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 5. And to the others, he said, in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. That's right. So we understand that the angels, they're going to get busy on the ones of you that don't have that mark, man. Okay? That it speaks about in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, which is the wa in the Hebrew, which means exempt from judgment. Okay, we understand the ones of you that don't have that, you're going to be left out here to get destroyed, man. Okay, we know that the angels, they're going to get busy on you, man. Okay, continuing on. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. That's right. So it doesn't matter if you're old, if you're 100 years old. It doesn't matter if you're 2 years old. It doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, a young woman. Okay, it doesn't matter. If you don't have that mark that it speaks about in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, which is the wa in the Hebrew, which means exempt from judgment, you're going to be left out here to get destroyed, man. Okay? That's what's going to happen. You won't be protected, man. Okay, so I'll read that again. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. Continuing on. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. That's right. So we understand that the elect will be protected. Okay, the scripture goes into it in Psalms chapter 34 and verse 7 about how the angel of the Lord encampeth round about him that fear him and delivereth them. Okay, so we understand that the angels will be around and protecting the elect, man. Okay, and we know that it's going to be a standard that's going to be lifted for the elect pursuant to Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19, man. Okay, so we know, man, the elect that's going to have that mark that speaks about Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, they're going to be protected and ultimately delivered, man. Okay, so I read that again. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. That's right. And we understand that judgment will begin with our people, man. Okay, the scripture goes to that in 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. Okay, so let me get what else I had. Let me go to Romans. All right. Let me get this in Romans, the 9th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 27th verse. Okay, this is Romans chapter 9 and verse 27. Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea. And if you ever been to a beach, man, okay, and you look at all that sand, you can't count all that sand, man. Okay, even if you had 2 handfuls, man, you can't count all that sand. So we understand that our people are innumerable, man. Okay, speaking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, which are the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so I read this from the top again. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse 27. Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. That's right. So even though we understand that our people are as the sand of the sea, only a remnant will be saved. Okay, speaking about the elect. Okay, even though we know that the scripture goes into it in Romans chapter 11 and verse 26 about how all Israel shall be saved as it is written, but we know that 2/3 of our people, they're going to be cut off on this side, man. Okay, we know that only the elect will be beamed up into the chariot when the Lord returns. We know 2/3 of our people, they're going to come back through the loins of the elect in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, that's how all our people will be saved. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'll get what else I had. Let me go to Zechariah. Okay, the 13th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 8th verse. This is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, and we understand that land is speaking about America, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, that's the land that is speaking about in this scripture. Okay, so I read this from the top again. This is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. So we know that 2 parts, 2/3 of our people will be cut off here in America, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, continuing on. But the 3rd shall be left therein. That's right, it says, but the 3rd shall be left therein. And we understand that the 3rd is speaking about the 1/3, the elect that's here in America, which is Babylon the Great, that'll be protected and ultimately delivered up out of this place. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'm going to get what else I had. All right, you get this Salakia. Let me go to Isaiah, the 26th chapter, and I'm going to go to the 20th verse. Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 20. Come, my people, into thy chambers. Okay, and the chambers is speaking about the chariots. Okay, so who are the people that's going to be able to enter into the chariot? The elect. Okay, continuing on. And shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. That's right. So we understand that the elect will be beamed up into the chariot when the Lord returns. We understand that they're going to be delivered and they'll be able to see the nuclear destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great, from the chariot, man. Okay, so we understand that the elect of the nation of Israel will be delivered, man. Okay, but 2/3 of our people will be cut off here in America, which is Babylon the Great, pursuant to Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. Okay, and I just brought that out. But we know we have to mention it. Before this place is destroyed, the CHIP, which is the MOTB, has to be made mandatory. Okay, and it will be made mandatory. You won't be able to buy or sell without taking that CHIP, which is the MOTB. But if you take it, you will be destroyed. Okay, we're constantly warning our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, which are the Hebrew Israelites, to not take the CHIP, which is the MOTB. If you take it, you will be destroyed, man. Okay, so with that said, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the elect, and I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.